Hello everyone, this is the other movie that I make in order to continue our chapter 18. Yes, this is chapter 18. The title of this chapter measuring the price level and the inflation. Previous movie we studied or we looked at the basic concept of CPI, the way that CPI is estimated, and we already did some practice in terms of exercises, examples, and concept checks. And I also expect that you all take advantages from this practice, learning example or concept checks. Okay, but if you did not do them yet, okay, try to do them in order to get advantages, in order to get benefit from them. Okay, now we continue new point of this chapter, because previous movie we already learned what does it mean CPI, how is CPI constructed or developed or estimated or calculated. Now the new point is inflation. Okay, so this is inflation. So inflation is the other tool, is the other measure that economists use in order to see, in order to check, in order to understand how average price level or price index in the economy is increasing over time. So inflation is the other measure or the other tool the economists use in order to study, to check, to understand how the average price level or how the price index in the economy is increasing over time. If the situation which the average price level or the price index increasing faster over time, so this economy will have higher inflation. If the average price level or price index in this economy going increasing but not faster, slower over time, so this economy will have lower inflation. That's why inflation is the other tool or the other concepts or the other measure that economists use in order to check how the price index change over time. Change here, change by increasing. Okay, so when you know inflation, you need to find the rate of inflation. The rate of inflation refer to or is the percentage change. Okay, the rate of inflation is percentage change in price level from one period to the next. So the key terms of percentage change, I think this is not new keywords for you, because we already learned so far from elasticity concept or elasticity chapter. We have price, we have a percentage change, and we also learned it from previous chapters. Chapter 17 is about growth rate, GDP growth rate, remember that one? Those one also percentage change. That's why when we're talking about percentage change, we refer to the growth rate. Okay, so the rate of inflation refer to the growth rate of inflation from one period to the next period. How to find the rate of inflation, or how to calculate the inflation rate? In order to calculate the rate of inflation or inflation rate, we proceeding from the previous concept of CPI. Remember that one? Previous proceeding concept of CPI. We have, I go to CPI constructed. No, not that one. Yes. Okay, remember this slide from previous movie, how to construct CPI. We use one technique or one method or one way that have 4 steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. I don't repeat them again. So I just use this one. I just extend this methods in order to get inflation rate. This is 4 steps. So inflation rate, we just add one more step, the 5th step. Okay, so in order to calculate the rate of inflation, we need the other step from CPI, because CPI has 4 steps. Now we add one more step, step 5 or 5th step, compute inflation rate. In order to compute inflation rate, you need to find percentage change of CPI, price level or price index, from one period to the next period. Okay, so compute inflation rate. Inflation rate is the percentage change, same percentage change in price index or price level for one period from preceding period. Preceding period, it means from the last period. Okay, the period that before this period, the period that before this one period. So this one period, for example, if I say this one period t, so preceding one period, it should be t minus 1. Okay, so if this one period is t, so preceding one period of this period is t minus 1. So how to find inflation rate from period to period? We use this formula. Okay, so this is growth rate formula. So inflation rate in this period equal to CPI or price index, CPI or price level, this period minus CPI last period or preceding period, divided by CPI by last period or preceding period. That's why last period or preceding period is the same meaning. Okay, and multiply by 100%. Why now we multiply by 100%? Because this is about rate is percentage. But remember that when we calculate CPI, we just multiply by 100. Why? Because CPI is index. Index is number that we use in order to compare period to period. But see, inflation rate is a percentage that we compare the growth rate of price level from period to period. Okay, so again, in order to compute inflation rate, we continue from CPI concept or CPI methods, because CPI have 4 steps. Now we just add one more step in order to find inflation rate. Okay, so we proceeding 4 steps in order to get CPI this period, 4 steps to get CPI previous period or preceding period, and we add one more step to be the growth rate of CPI. So the growth rate of CPI is inflation rate. Or sometimes they say, what is the growth rate of CPI from 2010 to 2011? So the growth rate of CPI is inflation rate. Or sometimes they just play the word around. They don't specify inflation rate, but they just say the growth rate of CPI, percentage change of price level, percentage change of price index, the growth rate of price level, the growth rate of price index. Those one is about inflation rate. Okay, so I think that when you watched and listen to this slide, I expect that you will not confuse. If the question asking what is the growth rate of inflation, what is the growth rate of CPI, this is inflation rate, or what is percentage change of price index, this is CPI, this is inflation rate. Okay, so don't confuse this one. That's why this is the formula that we use in order to find inflation rate. Okay, don't forget this formula. So up to now we have 2 formulas. One, how to calculate CPI, consumers price index. Now how to calculate inflation rate. Okay. Okay, we have two formula up to now. Okay, this is an example because practice. Consumer price index, CPI, and inflation. So remember that the first step of the way to find CPI, we need to determine the standard basket. Standard basket, that means the fixed basket. The basket that contain the same goods basis from period to period. This basket have the same goods basis. That's why it's what we call standard basket or fixed basket. Suppose this practice, we have a basket with 4 bars, 10 fishes, and 5 kilograms of rice. Okay, so this is our basket. So step 1 is already done because we know goods basis in our basket. Step 2, you need to find price. So based on this table, you have price. We have pizza in our basket, we have price. We have fish in our basket, we have price of fish. We have rice in our basket, we have price of rice. And suppose that we have 3 years, 2010, 2011, 2012. Okay, so when we know quantities in our goods in our basket and we know the price of each good in our basket, we can find cost for each good in our basket. Cost for each good in our basket. So in order to find the cost for pizza, how much that we pay for pizza, that's why we take a quantity of pizza that we put in our basket, multiply by the price. Okay, in 2010, this amount is the price or is the cost for pizza. This amount is the cost for fishes. This is the cost for 4 pizza. This is the cost for 10 fishes. This is the cost for 5 kilograms of rice. Together, this is the cost of basket in 2010. Because in our basket consists or contain 3 types of goods basis. Goods, not services now, right? Goods. That's why we add the cost of each good together. This is the cost of basket. And then do the same way, we can find the cost of basket in 2011. Doing the same way, we can find the cost of basket in 2012. Step 3 is already done. Okay, step 1 here, step 2 here, step 3 here. So what next? Step 4. Step 4, you need to determine, you need to set which year is the best year. So normally, if the information not given you which year, which period is the best, normally we take the first year, the first period of the table is the best period or the best year. Okay, so again, if in information there is no given, there is no telling about the best year or best period, that's why you need to set by your own. If you set by your own, normally we set the period, the first period in our information or in our table as the best year. Okay, so compute CPI for each year. Each year, that means compute CPI for 2010, compute CPI for 2011, compute CPI for 2012 by using 2010 best year. So now 2010 best year. Okay, how to compute CPI? Remember that formula? This formula. So CPI 2010 equal to total cost or cost of basket in 2010 divided by the cost of basket in base year multiplied by 100. That's why here. So CPI 2010, the cost of basket 2010 divided by the cost of basket in base year. Because 2010 as a base year, that's why they are the same. Multiplied by 100. So equal to 100. Remember that CPI in base year always equal to 100. Maybe I said already in a previous movie. And previous chapter, GDP deflator in base year always equal to 100. Okay, this is previous chapter. Now CPI. In the base year, CPI always equal to 100. Previous chapter, in the base year, GDP deflator always equal to 100. Okay, so what is CPI in 2011? CPI 2011 comes from the cost of basket 2011 divided by cost of basket in base year. That's why 2011 cost here, base year here. So we got 115.4. How about 2012? 2012 equal to 130.8. Okay, this is step 4. In order to compute CPI, when you already know the cost of basket every period, and in order to compute CPI, you need to know base year or base period, and then you can use formula. So next, 5th step, the other step that this is 4 step that we already done from previous movie in order to compute CPI. So now we want to find inflation rate. Inflation rate. So in order to use inflation rate in this practice, we use the formula from previous slide. Inflation rate this period equal to CPI this period minus CPI last period or preceding period divided CPI in preceding period or last period multiplied by 100. Okay, so question, can we find inflation rate in 2010? In this example or in this practice, can we find inflation rate in 2010? No. Why no? So CPI 2010, also inflation rate 2010 equals CPI 2010 minus CPI 2000 last period of 2010 is 2009 minus CPI 2009 divided by CPI 2009 and multiplied by 100%. Look at this our practice. Do we have 2009 data? No. That's why if we don't have 2009 data, we also don't have CPI 2009. If we don't have CPI 2009, we cannot find inflation rate 2010. Okay? So based on this practice, we can find inflation rate 2011. Inflation rate 2011 comes from CPI 2011 minus CPI 2010 last period or previous period or preceding period divided by CPI 2010 multiplied by 100%. Okay, so 15.4% is inflation rate in 2011, not 10. 13.3 is inflation rate in 2012. Okay, based on this fact, I have one question mark. So, who can tell me? Who can tell me what does it mean 15.4%? Or what does it mean inflation rate of 15.4% in 2011? What does it mean inflation rate of 13.3% in 2012? Okay, so I expect to hear, to see your answers. Okay, so maybe you can ask, how can you answer if I don't explain the meaning of this one? Sure, I don't explain the meaning of this one, but I show you this is inflation rate. And previous slide, what does it mean inflation rate? Okay. And moreover, beside this slide, you can go to the other sources, for example, Google. Maybe they have some explanation. But when you go to search in Google and you found explanation for this one, don't copy directly. Just see them, understand them, and then try to write your own sentence. This is the way that we call avoiding plagiarism. Avoiding plagiarism is very, very important for students, especially international students. Okay? So, this is already done. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4. This is 4 steps for CPI. If we add one more step, we can find inflation rate. But in this case, I ask you, what does it mean inflation rate of 15.4% in 2011? What does it mean? Inflation rate are 13.3% in 2012. Okay, I also have a practice here, but practice here may be at the end of chapter, so don't go there. Just tell you in advance. Okay, now we have the other next practice. Based on this table, 2013, 14, 15, price of burger, price of Coca-Cola, and price of fried chicken. This is price. Step 2 that of the technique or of the method or of the way that we use in order to calculate CPI. We have step 2, but we don't have step 1. Right? We don't have step 1 because you cannot see the basket here. This one you can see the basket. This example or this practice you can see the basket, and then you can see the price. We can find the cost of basket, and then you can find CPI. Next we can find inflation rate. But for this one, I don't see, or we don't see the basket. We just see the price, step 2. We don't have step 1. So if we don't have step 1, it means we don't have Q for burger, we don't have Q for Coca-Cola, for Coke, we don't have Q for fried chicken. If we don't have Q, we have only the price. How can we find the cost? How can we cost? So maybe you have a question for that one. If we have price without Q, how can we find the cost of buying burger, the cost of buying Coke, the cost of buying fried chicken? But remember that price equal to $4 here. $4. What does it mean? Price of $4. Can you think about this one? What does it mean? Price equal to $4. It means that $4 equal to 1 burger, or 1 unit of burger. That's why normally when you see the price equal to $4, it means that $4 per unit of product or service. Okay, per unit of product service. That's why this is Q. Per unit, that means Q equal to 1. Okay, per unit, that means 1 unit. So $4, it means $4 equal to 1 burger. That's why this is Q. This is price, this is Q. That's why I can find the cost for burger. Okay, so we can find the cost of basket. In our basket right now, how many goods in our basket? There are 3 types of goods in our basket: burger, Coke, fried chicken. Okay, so this is the cost of basket in 2013 for these 3 types of goods. You see, Q is only 1, Q is only 1, Q is only 1. Doing the same way, this is the cost of basket in 2014 for these 3 goods. This is cost of basket in 2015 for these 3 goods. That's why now we know the cost of basket. Next, we need to compute CPI. Remember that in order to compute CPI for every period, you need to know the base period. Okay? Suppose that compute CPI for each year, 2013, 2014, 2015, by using 2010 base year. 2010 base year, we don't have 2010 in our table. So how can we find 2010? We cannot find unless they are given, or unless it is given. Now it is given. Okay, so by using 2010 base year, which cost equal, or cost of basket equal to 6.10. Now we know the cost of basket in base year. That's why we can find CPI 2013, 14, 15 by using this formula. Okay, so this is the CPI 2013, cost of basket 2013 divided by cost of basket in base year multiplied by 100. Do it the same way, we got this CPI. Step 4 already done. Now we want to find inflation rate. Again, if you want to find inflation rate, just go here. Just this formula. Maybe I don't need to explain it again. So just go in there and put question mark again. But this question mark is you can answer previous question mark. This question mark is not a problem, because the same meaning, the same way, but just different condition. Why different condition? Because different number. Okay, different figure, different answers. This is the other practice. I will give you at the end of the chapter, but now I just inform you, or I just show you a little bit. Okay, so in this case is a practice, or is exercise practice combined of chapter 17 GDP and chapter 18 CPI inflation rate together. Okay, you can see GDP, real GDP, nominal GDP. You can click cost basket. So this is a special exercise, GDP CPI exercise. So what is next? Okay, we just go see the this is answer. Okay, I don't know. I shall answer you. Okay, this is a combination chapter 17 GDP and chapter 18 CPI inflation together exercise. Okay, so now we have two practice. I think you have some idea in your mind how to find CPI and how to calculate inflation rate. Okay, how to find CPI, how to calculate inflation rate. I think up to now most of you can do them, can calculate CPI, can calculate inflation rate. But I think you still have some problem in terms of interpret, in terms of explain the result. Okay, I think you still have some problem in terms of interpret, in terms of explain the result. If you go to see again and again and try to understand what I'm explaining, okay, try to understand what I'm explaining during the movie, during each movie, you can get this explanation, and you can get concept how to explain the meaning of CPI, how to explain the meaning of inflation rate. Okay, this is the other learning activity. So we have two practice in previous slide. Now we have the other one, active learning, calculate the CPI. Okay, suppose that now we have our basket. This basket is in January 2015 basket. This is basket, and we have only two periods: January 2015, February 2015. Okay, so based on this table, we know that how many goods in our basket. There are two goods: pizza and burger. Pizza and burger. This is the price of pizza, and this is the price of burger in January 2015. This is the price of pizza. This is the price of burger in February 2015. Okay, so look at this one. In our basket, there are 5 pizzas, 5 burgers. Okay, suppose that one family or one household or one consumer in that month, they buy 5 pizza, 5 burger, put into the basket. Why they, maybe the reason why these consumers or this household buy the same quantities of pizza and burger in the basket, because the price is the same thing. See, because the price same thing, that's why they buy the same quantities of, buy the same amount of pizza and the same amount of buy they can buy the amount of pizza the same thing as the amount of burger in the basket. Okay, so we know the basket. This is step 1, and we already know the price. This is step 2. By taking January 2015 as the best month, not best year, right? Okay, remember this is best month. Why this best month? Because January 2015, February 2015. That's why by taking January as the best month, 1. Compute CPI basket cost. Compute CPI basket cost, that means compute the basket cost from concept of CPI. Compute CPI basket cost, meaning that you need to compute basket cost from concept of CPI in January 2015 and in February 2015. A. Compute CPI in January 2015 and CPI February 2015. C. What was the CPI inflation rate? What was the CPI inflation rate from January to February 2015? CPI inflation rate, what does it mean? Compute the inflation rate from using concept of CPI. Okay, so this means that you need to compute inflation rate from concept of CPI from January to February. Okay, this is important. We will use this one when we study the problems that happen in CPI calculation. Okay, so I hope that you can understand clearly. Okay, maybe I can repeat again. Compute the basket cost from using CPI concept. That's why we call CPI basket cost. Compute CPI inflation rate. This is compute inflation rate from using concept of CPI. So this is I said 2 times up to now because it will use it again when we study the problems for computing CPI. Okay, just look at this one. Now we go into exam answer. That's why this is step 1, step 2. Now we have to find step 3, step 4, and step 5. Okay, so step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Okay, so compute the CPI basket cost into January 2015. This is 1. So because our basket consists of 5 pizza and 5 burgers, that's why you need to find the cost for pizza, the cost for those 5 pizza and the cost for those 5 burgers, and add them together. This is the cost basket for January 2015 and the cost basket for February 2015. Okay, you see, we buy the same in our basket, have the same amount of pizza, amount of burger. 5 pizza in January, in February, 5 burger in January and February. But why we pay different amount of money to the seller, or why our basket has different cost? You know why? You can see this one. Okay, I'm not telling you. You can see. Okay, now question B. Compute CPI January 2015. In order to compute CPI, remember that you need to have best. Oh, sorry, this is month. Sorry, maybe I got wrong in this one. Month. Why month is this one? Month should be n, right? Behind the other n. Yes. Okay, so we need to use this formula, but previous formula I use current period, best period. Okay, period, it depends on months, week, quarter, semester, or annual, per year, depends on. That's why this is, we're talking about January, February, that's why it's month. So this is the CPI in current month equal to CPI equal to cost of basket in current month divided by the cost basket in base month multiplied by 100. Okay, because we take January 2015 as the base, that's why the cost of basket in 2015 divided by cost basket in base months is the same thing, so equal to 100. This is the CPI in February 2015. Okay, so see inflation rate from the CPI inflation rate from January to February 2015. This one. Oh, I don't use this month, I just still use period. It should be month. Inflation rate this month equal to CPI this month minus CPI last month divided by CPI last month multiplied by 100%. Okay, 24%. I think you have idea to answer what does it mean 24% our inflation rate from from January to February. So what is inflation rate? What is 24% as inflation rate in January or in February 2015? Which month? January or February? Okay, so we have 3 practice right now in terms of how to find CPI and how to calculate inflation rate. So I think you are clear right now. Okay, if you're still not clear, maybe you can see them again. I can watch it again and again. Okay, this is based on your textbook. On page 475, you can see example 18.2. Calculate inflation rate from 1972 to 1976. Inflation rate. But it is given to you CPI. That's why you need to find inflation rate. Okay, you need to find inflation rate. Maybe you can put new column here, inflation rate. Sorry. Inflation rate. Okay, you can put column here and you can find here. So I just show you, but I don't do them for you. Okay, so you can do it. But this is some ideas for you to read. Okay, the other one beside example 18.2 on this page, on that page, textbook page, you can see concept check 18.3. Okay, this is concept check 18.3. So similar to example 18.2, concept check 18.3 is about table. So this is from 1929 to 1933. You have CPI, you need to find inflation rate. Okay, so my question, can we find inflation rate for 1929? Can I find or can we find inflation rate in 1929? So you answer. This is concept check 18.4a. Actually, based on textbook, only 18.4, not AB, but I just add 1. Okay, I just add 1. This is from previous version textbook. That's why I put 18.4a. In your textbook, it's only 18.4, not AB. But I split it into 2 parts, A and B. A, this is from previous version textbook. This is from your textbook. From your version textbook. That's why previous textbook they telling you CPI in 2003, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and asking again to find inflation rate. Okay, so B on this page, 18.4b on this page, they given to you the CPI 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, and asking you to find inflation rate of each year. Okay, so I think you can do them. Okay, so in order to do them, you need to get CPI. 4 steps in order to get CPI. But luckily, CPI are given to you. So this concept check 18.3, 18.3, 18.4a, 18.4b, including your previous slide example 18.2. They are given to you the CPI. That's why you need to use the fifth step, how to find inflation rate. Okay, I'm sure that I am 100% sure that you can find inflation rate for concept check and example 18.2, concept check 18.3, 18.4a, 18.4b here. Okay. So question: how for based on a concept check 18.4b on my slide 18.4b, but on your textbook 18.4. How did inflation rates in 1930s, 1930 here, okay, how did inflation rate in 1930s differ from inflation rate in 2000s and differ inflation rate in 2010s. So now, in order to answer this question, you need to complete this table, inflation rate, and then you can check the inflation rate in 1930s here, inflation rate in 2000s here, and inflation rate in 2010s here. Okay, so you can answer this question. Okay, now inflation rate is already finished. So by now, recall again. By now, we have you also have concept how to compute CPI, and just previous talk in this movie, just earlier time of this movie, I'm just explaining how to find inflation rate and what does it mean inflation. Now we have the other one, deflation. Previous slide we were looking at inflation, but now this is deflation. What the difference between inflation and deflation? Okay, see together. Deflation is an economic situation, is an economic status in which the prices of most goods, most services are falling down over time. Deflation is an economic situation in which the price level or the price index of most goods, most services are dropped down time to time. That's why it means that deflation is the negative rate of inflation. Deflation is the negative inflation, because inflation, price going up time to time, price level going up time to time, price index going up time to time, CPI going up time to time. This we call inflation. Deflation, price levels or price index or CPI go down or falling down time to time. That's why we call deflation. So deflation and inflation is the opposite situation. Okay, so deflation is the negative inflation rate. It can be seen from concept check 18.3. Okay, can you go 18.3? Yes, 18.3. If you calculate this inflation, it becomes negative. That's why this is we call deflation. Deflation. Okay, so this is just a short meaning. Normally we not talking too much about deflation, because deflation is worst, is very bad, or is a big problem in economy. But however, most countries in the world, we don't have deflation. We have only inflation. That's why deflation normally we don't look at too much, because most of the country in the world we don't experience deflation, but we experience inflation. That's why we were talking too much about inflation. We talking less about deflation. Okay, the other point, adjusting for inflation. Adjusting for inflation or correcting for inflation. The CPI is an extremely useful tool because CPI can be used to adjust economic data to eliminate, to remove the effect of inflation. So CPI is very important, useful tool, because CPI can be used in order to adjust the economic data to eliminate the effects of inflation. CPI is used to convert CPI is used to convert the quantities measured in current dollar values into real value. That's why this CPI we call deflating. Okay, the way that we use CPI to convert quantity measured in current value dollar into real terms or physical term, we call deflating. The way that we use CPI to convert the real quantities into the current dollar values, the current dollar terms, we call indexing. That's why in order to adjust economic data for inflation, we use two adjustment methods. One we call deflating, the other one we call indexing. Okay, so deflating convert dollar values into the real or physical term, from current dollar value to physical term. Maybe this is, maybe you think new. Is it new? It's not new. Remember, I think you still remember types of GDP. We have nominal GDP and we have real GDP. Okay, nominal GDP and we have real GDP. This is nominal value. This is a real value. Okay, this is nominal quantity. This is real quantity. Same thing. This is money. This is physical unit. That's why the way that we use CPI to convert dollar value to real term, this is we call deflating. The way that we use CPI to convert a real term or real quantities into current dollar value, this is we call indexing. These two methods of adjusting are useful. These two methods of adjustment are useful for not only economists but also for everyone who needs to adjust payments, accounting measurements, or other economic quantities for the effects of inflation. That's why these two indexes are important for everyone in the world, not only economists. Okay, deflating a nominal quantity. In order to deflating a nominal quantity, you need to know two types of quantities: nominal quantities and real quantities. Don't feel strange, because we already learned nominal GDP or real GDP. This is similar concept to nominal GDP. This is similar concept to real GDP. Okay, so a nominal quantity refers to quantity that is measured in terms of its current money value. Current money value or current dollar value. Yes, money value. A real quantity refers to the quantity that is measured in physical product terms. Physical product term, for example, one car, one pen, one computer, one set of computer, something like this. Okay, that's why this is the quantity that tell you in terms of monetary unit. This is the quantity that telling you about the products or service unit. Okay, quantities are goods services. That's why this is a real quantity. So real quantity refers to quantity is measured in physical product term. For example, quantities of goods services, like I said, one car, one set of computer, one service of class, one service of education for this class, something like this. To compare values over time, we use real quantities. Okay, to compare values over time, we use real quantities. So that's why we use deflating. Deflating is the process that a nominal quantity converts it into a real quantity. Deflating is the process that we convert nominal quantity into real quantity. How to convert? By dividing a nominal quantity by its price index. By its price index CPI, to express the quantity in real terms. Okay, the quantities in real term. Okay, you can study. Yes, you can study this example. This table 18.3 and 18.3. Table 18.3 and example 18.3 from this page. That one here. Okay, so based on table below, table 18.3, we have nominal income or money income. We have price index, and then we want to find a real income. Real income refers to number or quantities of goods services that this income used to buy. That's why this is we call deflating. How to use deflating? In order to use deflating, you need to take a nominal quantity divided by CPI. That's why we call a real quantity. Okay, we call a real quantity. Okay, so in this case, it's similar to GDP deflator. Who remember GDP deflator from previous chapter? GDP deflator, remember that? Nominal GDP divided by real GDP multiplied by 100. Right? But CPI here is already multiplied by 100. Because the earlier slides of previous movie, our textbook did not multiply by 100. But I said it does after that. So this is multiplied by 100. That's why you see the same thing. In order to find a real, from this one, in order to find a real GDP equal to nominal GDP deflator and multiply by 100. Okay, multiply by 100. But because our why in this case we don't multiply by 100? Because CPI in 100 already. That's why we don't have multiply by 100. We don't need to multiply by 100. Okay, maybe you ask question, why CPI we already multiplied by 100 already? Remember that previous movie your textbook of 1.25, but I say this is 125, not 1.25, because 1.25 multiplied by 100 is 1. That's why in CPI already 100, already multiplied by 100. That's why this one not multiplied by 100 again. But if we do calculation, sometimes we just take 100 coming. Okay, so I think if you remember, this is from previous movie, GDP deflator. Now we can study CPI. So now, okay, we have nominal income or money income. How to get real income? By taking this one divided by this one. Okay, taking this one divided by this one. Because CPI is already 100. That's why when we divide it, we also multiply by 100. Okay, now we got 2000, no, 20,000. It's similar. Why is it? Why the same? Nominal income and real income in 2000 is the same because CPI equal to 100. Remember that one? This is base year. Because I already told you that in base year CPI equal to 100. In base year GDP deflator equal to 100. Okay. So how to find? Maybe you can ask how to find 20,000. 20,000 come from 20,000 divided by 100 and then multiply by 100. Why did you multiply by 100? Because CPI here in 100. That's why you divide it by 100, you need to multiply by 100. But if CPI is only 1, remember that I said 125 and 125. This is 125 without multiply by 100. But if you multiply by 100, become 125. This is already multiplied by 100. That's why when you take nominal income deflate by price index, you need to multiply by 100 again. That's why this is 20,000. Okay. Otherwise, if you not multiply, what is real income? It's only 200. So it's wrong. Why is wrong? Because we can see that 2000 CPI for 200. I can say that 2000 is base year. In base year, nominal quantity equal to real quantity. Nominal quantity equal to real quantity. Okay, in base year. That's why we need to multiply by 100. If we don't multiply by 100, because real GDP is only 200, they are not equal. So we cannot find which one is base year. But in this case, because price index 100 is in 2000, that's why 2000 can be said that the base year. Okay, yes. So real wage, yes, real wage. Real wage is real income. Real wage is real income. Real wage is the wage paid to workers measured in terms of purchasing power. Purchasing power, real quantities. Purchasing power refer to real quantity. Okay, maybe I can explain what does it mean purchasing power. What does it mean? For example, yes, okay, I give you example. Suppose that if you have 10,000 real in your pocket. Okay, you have 10,000 real in your pocket. And you want to know what is the power of 10,000 real to buy gold. To buy goods or to buy goods. So in your pocket you have 10,000 real, and you want to know what is the power of 10,000 real to buy goods. Okay, to buy goods. If you can buy, let's say, to buy goods in terms of, maybe you can say, maybe yes, burger. If 10,000 real can buy 2 burgers, if 10,000 real, you can use this 10,000 real to get 2 burgers. I can say the purchasing power of 10,000 real is 2 burger, because the power of 10,000 real can be used to buy 2 burgers. Okay, that's why this is, when we're talking about real income or when we're talking about real wage, we always focus on purchasing power. Okay, so purchasing power is the power of your money to buy goods, to purchase goods. If next time you buy only 1.5 burger, 10,000 real the same as before. Before you can pay to buy 2 burgers, but now you can buy only 1.5 burger. So I can say that you have the same amount of money as before, but your amount of money now has less purchasing power. Why less? Because the same amount as before, you buy less burger. Before you could buy 2 burger, but now only 1.5 burger. That's why 10,000 real has less power. It means that nominal income 10,000 real has less real income. Why? Because when the price go up, you can see real income go down. Even though you have increasing income. Okay, in this case. So when we have different. Okay, maybe it's not a good example, but this is a good example, because you have the same amount of money as before. Before you had 10,000 real, you could buy 2 burger, but now the same amount of money, 10,000 real, you could buy only 1.5 burger. That's why 10,000 real has less purchasing power. But if you can buy 2.5 burger, 10,000 real right now has more power income. Has more purchasing power, has more power to buy, has more power to purchase. That's why you can buy more quantities. If your wage can be used to buy more quantity, so your wage has more purchasing power. If your wage can be used to buy less quantity, I can say that your wage has less purchasing power. This is the meaning of purchasing power. Okay, real wage for any given period is calculated by dividing nominal wage by CPI. That's why this is, I can say, real nominal income or money income. This is a real income or real wage. Okay. So based on this concept of deflating, back to the earlier slides of this chapter. Remember that the best baseball players, Baby Ruth in 1931, Barry Bonds in 2001, Clayton Kershaw in 2015. If you want to answer maybe this one. Yes, if you want to answer these 2 questions, you need to use deflating concept. You need to use deflating concept. Okay, because 80,000 can buy more goods than 10 million, or 80,000 can buy more goods services than 30 million or not. Okay, so in order to answer this question, you need to use deflating concept. Okay, deflating is up here. That's why, based on the question earlier that I just showed, Bobby Rod have money income 80,000. Barry Bond has money income 10.3 million, and Kasha have money income 31 million. It's not easy to compare money income because they have different, they were different period of time. But even though they were different period of time, the size of the goods normally not too much change. The size of the good normally not too much change. Okay, that's why you can take goods to compare their income. The goods that their income used to buy, this is we call real income. So in order to answer these two questions, the earlier slide two questions, you need to convert their nominal income to their real income, and because their real income used physical product to measure, not monetary unit to measure. Practice. Okay, practice. In 2004, Alex, maybe it is long, it's not easy to read this one, I just say Alex. 2001, Alex earned 18 million. CPI in that year was 189. What was the Alex real income? Maybe it's not easy. Sorry, no, it's not easy. It's not a problem, because you know nominal income and you know CPI, you can find real income. This one may be a little bit tricky. How did Alex 2001 real income compare to Barry Bond how did Alex 2004 real income compare to Barry Bond 2001 real income if the CPI 2001 was 177? That's why from this you know Alex real income, but now you need to find Barry Bond real income. Now you know CPI of Barry Bond, but you don't know money income. Okay, go back to the earlier this chapter. You can see Barry Bond real income, and then you can compare. Okay, you can go to concept check 18.5 on this page for your textbook, and you can go to your textbook again on the same page. Okay, on the same page 478, you can see concept check 18.5. You can see example 18.4. Okay, so this is the other example or the other practice. In 1950, the minimum wage was $0.75 per hour. In 2005, it was 5.15 per hour. The CPI was 24.1 and 194.6 in 1950 and 2005 respectively. Okay, I will explain. I will tell you what does it mean respectively. Respectively is in order. It's simply in order. The meaning in order, what does it mean? You can see 24.1 and 194 in 1950 and 2005 respectively. So respectively it means order. Order, normally the number they're telling first for the year that telling first. The number they're telling next for the year that telling next. Sometimes they want to make a short sentence. They put a series of order, a series of data together with a series of year together. But they put respectively. What does it mean respectively? The first data represent the first year. Second data represent the second year. The third data represent the third year. Okay, that's why you have only two data of CPI, 24.1 and 194.6, and we have 2 years. So that means when we use respectively, it means the first CPI stands for the first year, second CPI stands for the second year. Okay, so normally when you read economic article or business articles, you will see this explanation in terms of series data. They use this style because they want to make a shorter sentence. Okay, question: how does the real minimum wage in 1950 compare to the real minimum wage in 2005? That's why In order to compare, you need to find a real minimum wage in 1950 and you need to find a real minimum wage in 2005, and then you compare which one is bigger, so this year is better. Okay. Okay, this one you also have to take 18.6 on this page. Okay, 18.6 on this page. Maybe I stop by that slide.